I thought I was going into motherhood as minimalist as possible, but it was really hard to do because I just didn't know what I actually needed. And so 4 years ago now, it was before I had my now 3-year-old, I came out with a video about my minimalist baby gear haul, and I'm here to watch it and react to it after having that first child and a second child, see what stuff I bought, what I wouldn't repurchase to this day. I did react to this, I think maybe it was last year or the year prior, I don't remember when it was, but I don't remember reacting to it or anything. And again, since then, I've had a second child, so my views on baby gear have changed even further and even more minimalist. Like, I barely use anything for this kid. And so yeah, I just thought it'd be fun to react to it and share some insight on some of the stuff I got that probably I did not need, but can you blame me? I was just trying my best. It just got really dark. Anyways, I've grown a lot in motherhood. A lot of things have changed, as you would expect. You know, it's been 4 years since I was pregnant with my first child, and priorities are different. I really am focusing on things that are good for my mental health these days, trying to manage the 2 kids. Because becoming a mother is one of the biggest life changes you can go through, I find it really helpful to have someone to go to who can help navigate you through that emotional roller coaster. And that's why I'm really thankful for today's sponsor, who is BetterHelp. You guys know I'm a huge advocate for BetterHelp. I really love what they're doing and all the people they're helping, all the mothers they're helping. BetterHelp is on a mission to make therapy more affordable and more accessible. And this is an important mission because finding a therapist can be really hard, let alone trying to find one when you're limited to the people in your own area. I mentioned in a recent video that I started up with therapy again because I've been going through this emotional roller coaster and just having a hard time figuring it out. It's been so helpful having a professional help guide me through this and really decipher what is normal and what are things that I can change, because that's where I found a lot of confusion. Is like, is this something I just need to learn to adapt to, or is this something I can make changes? And I've already seen the benefits of having someone with that professional outside perspective. I've seen therapy help so many people in my life, specifically BetterHelp, offering that flexibility to people who wouldn't normally be able to fit it into their lives. They've really streamlined the process of finding a therapist with their online quiz and changing therapists at any time. You can message your therapist whenever you see fit, plan it around your schedule. It's made to work for you. So regardless of whether you have a clinical health issue like depression or anxiety, or you're just a person trying to navigate your way through this world, therapy can help give you the tools to approach life in different ways. So if you're struggling, consider BetterHelp. You can use my link in the description, which is betterhelp.com/embersandash, and that will get you 10% off your first month. So thank you again to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get into reacting to this video. I have my old headphones here because I don't know why. I'm not like against Bluetooth headphones, but I'm just like, why would I buy those if I already have plug-in ones? Anyways, yeah, I'm very excited about this because again, I do not remember anything. Hey guys, welcome back to Embers and Ash. My name's Ashley, if you didn't know. Wow, it's so weird seeing yourself from so long ago. I feel like I was a baby there. I get, maybe people say that all the time, but first of all, my hair is looking very shiny in a good way, but I guess I was also pregnant, so my face and body look different because of that. But also my voice is so, okay, this is not what this video is about. Let's skip ahead from the intro. And today I'm going to show you all the baby gear that I've accumulated over the past 9 months. Well, like not everything, but all the important stuff anyways. All the important stuff. We will see. So let's get started with travel, maybe? I think that's what I'm gonna start with. So, diaper bag. We decided on a bag that I'm very excited about. It is this, how do you pronounce it? Fjallraven? Okay, so Fjallraven backpack as a diaper bag. This is probably one of the best purchases I've made for my children because backpack can be used as a diaper bag. You don't need to get a specific diaper bag. It has held up. Like, I don't treat this thing very nicely, and it looks maybe not new, but there's no wear to it. And even just recently I was talking to Josh, like, man, we are almost at the point where this isn't a diaper bag anymore and it can just be a backpack, because we have like a bigger backpack for like beach trips, lake trips, but this smaller one I'm using as a day trip bag. It's just always so full of diapers all the time, and it'll be really nice when it can just be a day trip bag. So I'm very happy with this purchase because it's gonna last us many, many more years to come. What goes in that diaper bag, you may ask? Well, the wipes that we've chosen, or that I've chosen, Josh doesn't really care too much, but going along with my like natural lifestyle, I wanted to make sure that I picked diapers and wipes that are fragrance-free and paraben-free, because if I'm choosing that for myself, why wouldn't I also choose that for my baby? In this economy, I can't say that's a priority anymore. We get the Hello Bella wipes. I like those because they're just water and what else? There's like something else in them, but they're pretty much just water, like 99% or whatever. But hold on, what product am I about to show? Okay, yeah, the Hello Bella wipes. Pamper wipes, I mean, no hate if you use them, but I don't like the smell of them and I don't want to put that on my baby. Diapers of choice are Pampers Pure. There we go. Pampers Pure. These ones also are chlorine, bleaching free, fragrance free, paraben. I got Pampers because I had a friend who said their child could only wear Pampers, otherwise they would leak. And I'm pretty sure I used those. No, I tried using them and Rook leaked all the time. So it just depends on your baby's body shape, I guess. But we are a Huggies family, and I was originally buying the like Huggies, what is that, special delivery, like their natural ones. But especially as the diapers get bigger, they just got far too expensive that we're just using regular ones. Not ideal, but you know, that's just the life we live. And then this is a little extra, and I might think that this is a waste after I actually have the kid, but I got this Baby Bumco diaper cream applicator. Okay, I hated on this bum cream applicator after I had Rook, and I was like, what a waste, we never use it, just use your finger. But I really like having it. Like, the bum cream is really hard to get off your hands. It's sticky. It's made to stay on your skin, right? On a baby's bum. And so I really like having the applicator to keep it off your hands. Simplifies life. Yeah, it's extra, but I would repurchase. The change mat that I got, I'm very excited about. It is a gather mat, which are so cool because they're vegan leather and they just pack really small. It is nice that it's small. I feel like I just care less about aesthetic baby stuff now, and I hear that happens a lot. But I also have said before that with having Rook in the pandemic, it was nice having things to focus on, like little aesthetic things, and that made me happy and not so much on the world that was on fire. So would I repurchase this? I've used it since and it's great. It hasn't done me wrong, but you can get like a $5 change mat. So yeah, I don't know. I got this Oogie Bear thing. It's like a nose picker. I've also hated on this nose picker a lot because it was so expensive. I think it was like $24 for two. I think it comes in a pack of two, which is just outrageous for this tiny little piece of plastic. And at the time I'm like, oh, it has a stopper so it doesn't go too far up your nose, and you're so like worried about the fragility of your baby before you've had your first, right? So I get why I did it. I have used it. I would not recommend anyone buy it. It's a waste. Like, if you buy it, you'll probably use it, but just like don't buy it. Find a different way to get boogers out. And then I also have some gripe water, Dr. Chase. I heard that this is a must-have for babies with colic. Okay, gripe water, I've heard it is great for colic, but why was I buying something for colic when I didn't even know if I had a colicky baby? I am a planner at heart and I wanted to be prepared for everything. And like, colic isn't that common. I don't know, how common is it? I don't know. But like, you can order that off Amazon, same day shipping. Like, why was I prioritizing getting something for colic without having a colic baby at the time? Crazy. Really wanted a ring sling because they seemed the most practical for newborns anyways. I've used the ring sling. I didn't love it for newborns. I know some people do. I liked having it for ages 1 and 2. carriers, in my opinion, buy one, and then after you have the child, assess if there's a need that isn't being fulfilled by that one carrier. I really liked with Finn this time around having the stretch wrap, loved that, and then the Ergo Baby structured carrier for like hiking and such. I have the ring sling, so I use it, but again, would I repurchase it? No, but some people like it, so it's just like, it's tricky. The next carrier is by Ergo Baby. It is a little confusing. I don't know if this is gonna make any sense to you. This is what it looks like. I'll put up a picture that shows it better. I did like the Ergo Baby Embrace carrier, and I did use it a bit with Finn, but I think the stretch wrap is better because this only works for a newborn and the stretch wrap works for a newborn and onwards. Like I can still put Finn in it now. So practically, I don't think I'd buy that again. Now let's do feeding. So I'm planning on breastfeeding my baby. I really am praying that it actually works out because I really want to breastfeed, but I know sometimes it just doesn't happen. It's so interesting looking back on this and like what my mindset was on things, and me just sitting there really hopeful that I can breastfeed, and then now knowing like, oh, I was able to do it with both kids thoroughly. Like, it's cool. I did get a lot of advice saying not to buy too many bottles because you don't know which one your kid's gonna like. So the first one I have is this. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I just show here a bunch of bottles that I got for free in like those kits that you can get from registry places. I'm really glad I didn't buy a bunch of bottles because we didn't use any with Rook. Again, pandemic, no one was babysitting my child. I wasn't going anywhere when in that Josh would need to feed the baby with the bottle. So I'm glad I didn't buy a bunch. But some people exclusively bottle feed, so it's hard for me to say like what to do. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I tell all moms is buy as little as you can before the baby comes, and then purchase what you need as you need it, because everything is dependent on the type of baby you have and how you want to raise that child, because your preferences might change as you actually are there with the child. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't buy a bunch of bottles, and I don't think I ever used any of these anyways. But I did buy a manual pump, and a lot of you might be screaming at me saying that you're gonna regret it, it's gonna be too much work. I did really like the manual breast pump. I didn't use it much. I did pump some milk for someone in my life, like for their baby, and it worked great. This was back when I only had Rook. And since then, if you watch my videos, you know, I have been using an electric pump, the cordless ones that like sit in your bra. That has been amazing because I'm not about to sit and like manually pump right now. Like there's just no hours in the day for that. So I do really like the manual, but the electric sitting in your bra is really cool. So, but also I don't think I should have bought a pump before I had the baby because you don't know if you need it or not. And then I got this bottle brush, which is like zero waste, which is cool. This is hilarious. Like what a crunchy mom thing to do, to get like a wooden bristled bottle brush. That was, I don't think that thing was cheap. And then I think I got gifted like a plastic little bottle brush, and that worked way better. I didn't, again, bottle feed, but I stored milk in bottles, so if that makes any sense. So I did have to clean bottles, and this thing was just a waste of money. This is another thing that was gifted to me. I put this on my baby registry, not really expecting anyone to get it for me, but someone did, and I'm so thankful because I don't have any water bottles that have like a straw, that's what they call it, and I know that you get very thirsty when you're breastfeeding, and I wanted to have a water bottle that I could drink with one hand and I didn't have to like unscrew and like deal with the lid. Crazy how thoughtful, is that the right word? How much thought I put into this. Like obviously I had a lot of time on my hands. I really did, because I left my job early because the pandemic had just started, and it was like, what happens with COVID and pregnancy? We don't know. So I left my job because I was scared. And so I was at home, all this free time, we couldn't go anywhere. So I'm sitting there being like, I should get a bottle that I can use with only one hand so that it's convenient when breastfeeding. And it was, and I still use this. This is my daily bottle. So highly recommend, but it's just really funny that I was like so in preparing for motherhood, you know? Sheet wise, I just have a couple basic bed sheets. This one's by Burt's Bees in white. I've been told that white is a bad idea, and it very well could be, but I will take that risk. I haven't had any issues with having white bed sheets. Since this, we have a total of 3 bed sheets, I think. So both the boys have one, and we have one as a just in case. And I don't know, we've had lots of fluids on them and they always wash out. You can use hydrogen peroxide to get any stains out. So yeah, I like having white sheets. It's just like there's so much chaos in a kid's room, especially once they become toddlers. It's nice having just a plain bed so it's not like so much overstimulation on your eyes. And then for swaddles, I went with majority stretch swaddles. Copper Pearl, my favorite stretch swaddles. I don't know how people use muslin swaddles to swaddle their babies because there's no stretch to them. How do they keep their arms down? The Copper Pearl ones are a great size. They're big. They're so stretchy in 2 directions. Is that what you would call that? So they just work really well at like really keeping their arms in. I also didn't use any of the Velcro swaddles, and I only swaddled a little bit anyway. So maybe I'm not one to talk because in Canada, it's not recommended to swaddle, just different health practices, I guess. I don't really want to get into it, but maybe I should. Just that, like, in the case that your baby rolls over, it's a hazard and you don't know if your baby can roll until they roll. So that's why that's that. But then, so I didn't swaddle with Rook, but I swaddled with Finn because he was crazy and he wouldn't sleep if I didn't. So, and it's the practice in America. So I'm like, if all Americans are swaddling their babies, and a lot of Canadians still are, it's fine. Oh, something that I'm just gonna throw in because it doesn't really have a category is this Love Nest head rest. I'm thinking that this is gonna be a bit of an essential just because I heard it's very common for babies to get a flat head because they lay on their back so much. I've also hated on this thing before. I didn't use it at all with Rook because he hated it. He would just scream when his head was on it, which is weird, but I kept it just in case. Sure enough, I used it a lot with Finn and he was fine with it, and I felt more of a draw to it this time because second child, he's just not being held as much. He was on the floor more than Rook was, so I'm like, you know what, at least I know that hopefully his head isn't getting flattened by this. And I can't say that it prevented it, but I liked using it this time. Some of my other baby videos, you'll know that we did not get a baby bath because we are trying to manage without one because those things are huge, and where the heck am I gonna store it? So I was totally fine not using a baby bath with Rook because, like I just said, hold the child, wash the child. This time around, I thought about maybe getting one of the ones that sit in your tub so that I could bathe both the kids at the same time, but Rook is chaotic. Like, I didn't even want to put a newborn in the same tub even if the newborn was isolated to a bath. So I just bathed them separate. We don't bathe our kids every night, so if you do, you might want something more efficient, but I'm like a few times a week kind of gal, so I just made it work. I also wasn't gonna get a baby towel and just use like our towels until I realized like eventually the kid's gonna need their own towel. Like Josh and I only have one towel each, and no one likes using a wet towel. I like my thought process here of like eventually your kid's gonna need a towel, so just get them a towel now. But then I bought a baby towel. I should have bought like an adult towel for the baby to grow into. We used this with Rook, we used it with Finn. It's so cute having the little hood. Don't get me wrong, they're not that expensive, so like get it if you want it. I'm not mad that I did, but if I was trying to be as efficient as possible, I should have just gotten an extra adult towel. Or if you already have more than 2 towels, then you don't need one. But we only have 2 adult towels. I also have a body lotion. So I got these like baby liquids, I guess you could call them, lotion and oil and the wash. I'm not about that. Okay, obviously I have baby wash, but the lotions, I just don't think your child needs that unless they have a skin issue. At least mine didn't. So never touched those. I'm pretty sure I got rid of them. Or no, the lotion I use sometimes when I need it, like for my feet or something. I have this little cradle cap brush that came in a set with all these brushes, which I'm very excited about. Okay, I forgot that cradle cap brush came with those brushes because we never used any of those brushes. I have boys, which at the time I didn't know what I was gonna have, but I don't use brushes on their hair unless I'm giving them a haircut, in which I already have a comb I can use for that. And so these have just become toys for the kids. But now realizing that it came with the cradle cap brush, I understand why I got it. Rook had a cradle cap, so that brush was nice. Was it actually? Because that brush actually didn't take away his cradle cap. There's a fine tooth comb type brush that I used that got rid of it, so maybe this whole thing was a waste. Baby change mat. I got the Kikaroo, which is a splurge and definitely a luxury baby item. I really wanted it because I didn't want to have to continuously wash change pad covers. I love the Kikaroo change mat because it's like front and center in your room. It's nice having something nice to look at. And at the time, I think there were like no other wipeable change mat options. So this, like, you had to spend the extra money if you wanted that. Everything else was the fabric change mats. So I'm glad I did it. Love it. Use it to this day. Yeah, I feel like that was a good splurge. Next up, the baby bouncer that we got. So I didn't want to get a swing and a baby bouncer because that's a lot of money. It was really nice getting gifted that baby bouncer. Hated how clunky it was. It was fine. With Finn, I used the Baby Bjorn bouncer, which I borrowed from a friend. It was awesome because it folds so you can put it away when you're not using it. It's very sleek. What do you call it? It like bounces itself. Like if your baby stirs and maybe starts to wake up, those movements will like make it bounce. So they'll be rocked back to sleep. Love that thing. Way better than this guy. But the bassinet that I did end up going with was this Kidco. I've never heard of this before, but I found it on Facebook Marketplace, of course. Embarrassing. This thing, trash. Rook got like reflux from it because it wasn't like level and it was really hard. Like there's a little bit of foam on it, but it just felt like plastic. I got rid of it pretty quickly after I started using it. And then I just used our stroller bassinet for nighttime. At one point we had the full-size crib in our room. Like it was a nightmare. I was trying to save money because I thought like I don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a bassinet that I'm only going to use for 3 to 6 months. I've since changed my tune. Those 3 to 6 months are very stressful, the least amount of sleep you're going to get in a long time, and I prioritized getting something that will help ease that process, especially like if you've had a C-section or even a vaginal birth. Like you're uncomfortable, you don't want something that's hard to take your baby in and out of. And my biggest thing is if you invest in a high quality bassinet, then you can sell it for a good price afterwards, or buy it on Marketplace and sell it for a similar price after you're done with it because you're only using it for a few months. So yeah, I used the Baby Bay bassinet, which was on rollers so I could move it around, and it can be like bedside co-sleeper. Loved that thing. It made such a difference having something that really worked for you, not against you, for while you're awake all night with the baby. Oh, I also got the diaper genie gifted to us. I just hear you need one. I know a lot of people who love the diaper genie. I hate it. Ours was always just like clunky and broke, and the diaper or the bag inserts, I hated having to buy those, especially with inflation. And so I got the Ubi diaper pail this time around. Love it. Love that you can use any bag with it, and that it locks. Like when I had a 1-year-old, it was nice being able to lock it so he couldn't get in. Yeah, love that far more. I got the Thule Sleek stroller and the Nuna Light car seat. So the reasons I went with the Thule stroller, it comes with 4-point suspension, so like all the wheels have give to them, so it's a more comfortable ride on all terrain. Okay, I was so proud of the 4-point suspension on the Thule stroller, and again, this was just like a new thing when I was purchasing it. No other stroller on the market had 4-point suspension. And now I think like all of them do. Like the Uppa Baby and the Nuna and everything. I love this stroller. I really do. It still is working great to this day. It's very durable. It's done what I need it to do. I love the Nuna car seat, how lightweight it is. I have no complaints. If you're looking for a stroller, I would go for this one if you feel like it. Okay, that's everything I bought for my minimalist list, which honestly wasn't that bad. I feel like I had more stuff than that, and I'm sure I bought more as I went, but basically the moral of the story was anything that wasn't a core essential, don't buy until the baby comes, which it's hard to know what a core essential is, but something that's like specialized for a certain type of baby, don't get that till you know what type of baby you have. So yeah, I hope this is helpful for you if you're preparing for your first child. It's really hard trying to navigate through all the baby hauls, all the baby essential lists, and find what you will need because it's so dependent on your lifestyle as well. But yeah, like I said, hopefully this was helpful for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check out BetterHelp if you're looking to improve your life, because I would love that for you. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.